Close your water bottles, folks. We are live. Hey, how about you, everybody? Welcome into the Auburn Live Call-In Show. I'm your host, Jeffrey Lee, Senior Recruiting Editor. Read at Gummit. Today is Sunday, May the 4th. Please don't do that.
Oh, may the 4th be with you.
2025. We've got a fantastic show for you tonight. Fantastic because we've got fantastic callers. My goodness, last week is going to be tough to follow up, but I guarantee you we've got them lined up tonight. Fantastic show. We're going to take your calls, get the questions, any comments you might have. We'll talk Auburn sports, whatever you want to talk about. Joining me, as they always are, 100% of the time when they're here, they're actually here. Mr. Cole Pinkston, Sir Alan Head, how about you?
I'm just kidding. How about you?
Oh, you know what? First of all, let's get something out there. We have a personal question of the week this week. POW, the Q is silent, by Mr. Cole Pinkston. Cole, it's getting grass cutting season.
Yeah,
and I'm very anxious, curious to hear some of the answers tonight to the POW, which is.
Yeah, so it was actually, man, I need to give credit to who it was. I'll go back and find them as we go. But posed the question on the corner. Thought it was a great question because I'm a big grass cutting guy, and I get into it. And for the first time the other day, I weed-eated and edged and did all that stuff first and then cut on the lawnmower. And I loved it. I think I'm going to stick to this. I'm just curious, does anybody else do it that way? If you have time, maybe that's the way you do it. Or do you cut first and then go weed eat everything that's left? Is that how you do it? So what's your order? I would like to know your order.
So because I'm on a push more, yes, I do. I knock out the lawn first and then I go back and weed eat.
Yeah.
But on a riding mower, I could see where you would do your trim work first, right? And then you're working, outside in.
And there's no judgment here. If you don't like weed eating, then just say screw it. I'd like to know that too.
Nah, you got to weed eat, man. It looks terrible if you don't.
Yeah.
I've been that guy before.
The problem with weed eating first for me, and I tried this because I was like, oh, I'll get this, and then I'll just run over with the lawnmower and be done with it. Yep. But then it was like I left a little thing here, and my lawnmower couldn't get to it, so I had to go back and get the weed eater back out. So I was like, all right, forget that.
I'm with you.
Weed eater is my sweeper.
Yeah.
So we'd like to hear your comments and opinions there. We're going to get to the phones line ASAP. Before we do, if you're looking for a house in or around Auburn, Opelika, hell, even Lee County, son, we look no further for the help you need. Miss Jessica Andrews with the Talents Group. She's fantastic. She's a freaking, I don't know what she is. I'm going to need Alan Head to tell me here in a minute. Give her a call, man, 334-704-4442. A lot of fours in that number, Alan Head, but she's a freaking 5-star realtor. She's fantastic, folks. If you don't believe me, just ask me. I'll tell you. I don't lie most of the time. Hey. All right, give her a call, man. Jessica Andrews with the Talents Group for all your real estate needs. 334-704-4442. Tell her we sent you. All right, Phil. Auburn baseball.
Yes.
Just looking at some of the current events here. Auburn baseball won 2 of 3 against number 5 Tennessee.
It depends on the poll that you're looking at. I've seen some that say 5, some that say 12. There was a different number there, but either which way, it's a top 10 team in the country that you went into their house and beat. And boy, that Tony Vitello, just a swell guy. I bet he's a lot of fun at parties. Took it so well in that last game. I mean,
he got tossed. Folks.
He did. For those
Tennessee coach.
Yeah, for those that can't feel my sarcastic overtone here, yes, he got tossed, and then let every ump on the field have it. I mean, I've never seen it where you've gone to all 3 and tried to give them the business just to get
your licks in. I hear you.
You know what? He made it count. By God,
yeah,
good for him.
The softball team won their last home game today against
NC State.
That's what I said, against NC State. What else is going on?
It's
recruiting's pretty quiet.
The coaches are on the road right now. We've seen some stuff. It's not really going to pick up cold till May the 16th.
Let me tell you what is going on. And I hope we hear from our guy Smitty tonight. Anthony, because he's our call-in show football guy for sure. I mean, him and Edward, they always bring football topics.
Yes.
There's a fever. I can feel the fever starting to pick up with a few of you.
Need more cowbell.
Yeah. you got a fever. The only prescription is Auburn football, and here it comes. I can feel it. I like I said, I'm sick with it, so I don't lose it. But I can feel it from the corner starting to go, hey, let's talk offense. Let's talk defense.
Well,
That season's kind of
yes. It makes sense now, right? But rosters are finally, for the most part, they're kind of settled out. So you know what you're going to be looking at next fall. I think Auburn's still got between 2 to 3 slots available on their current roster, and they'll probably – one of those may go to a walk-on. I'm not exactly sure. The other 2, I think they'll try to fill. They filled 2 spots really late in the cycle this past year.
Yeah.
Who was the DB from Colorado that they took late?
Jaquez Robinson.
Yes, Jaquez Robinson.
You also picked up, like 2 weeks or a week and a half before fall camp was Fanaja Gote, who didn't play, but he was a backfield for depth.
Correct. And I don't think they're going to be in a rush to fill those spots. The only name presently on the board that we've discussed openly, Carlos Moore, offensive tackle from Elon, a division FCS or Division II? FCS, right?
FCS.
Okay. Zach's going to kill me on not knowing that.
Zach will let us know.
And we saw the former Auburn High quarterback who visited last week committed to Texas today.
Yes.
Yeah.
They apparently wanted him more than Auburn did.
I think that's a fair way to put it.
Yep.
Which he would have been perfect for QB4 at Auburn. I think Sark sold him on the chance to be as high as QB2 for Texas. But we'll see. But yeah, Auburn's still going to go into, as of right now, their roster includes. Now, listen, I'm a big fan of Colvin.
Yes.
Yeah. Me too.
As you should be.
So maybe that's what, maybe Hugh Freeze and those guys went, hey, we could use Colvin as QB4 and use that scholarship somewhere else.
And honestly, when I talked about a walk-on being put on scholarship, he was kind of the first one that popped into my mind. Is I thought he showed a little arm talent in what I saw. I finally got to see some clips of some things that happened during that 8-day practice. I thought he showed some arm talent. So I wouldn't be opposed to that. And he's somebody that already knows the system. He's been there. He's paid his dues. So,
yeah, I was impressed with him. I was impressed enough from dude, there's your QB4.
Makes sense, doesn't it? It makes a lot of sense. That's all I said on the last one. I didn't say that's going to happen or this is what we're hearing. I wasn't hearing it. I was just going, man, if it really what makes the most sense here is the guy who seemed to perform well at A-Day, has been on the roster, knows the offense. Make him QB4.
And I'll be honest with you. I was like, oh, man, because I was hoping they would put Colvin on scholarship. And when they brought in Caldwell on Monday, I was like, oh, because we talked about Colvin last week, if not mistaken. Yeah, and then the next day, here comes Caldwell, and I was like, oh, well, all right, whatever.
Right, makes sense.
You
know, makes complete sense. But for a guy in Colvin that's been there, he's paid his dues, understands the system, great kid, good family.
Yeah,
it makes a lot of sense if you go that direction as well. So I don't think it's QB4 in a situation where if you get beyond your first 3 QBs, your season's probably let me not use the 4-letter word I'm famous for saying on this show, but it's going that direction for sure.
Speaking of QBs, the Landon Duckworth news was interesting this week.
Very.
It doesn't change anything for me personally.
It does me.
I would still put Burgess in the class, but
this was not news to me.
No. You had put out a while back that he was in works of putting up an OV. We just didn't know what the date was quite yet, and the date comes out this week, so that's the only thing. I mean, that's not a shock to anybody here.
All right, it's not a shock to me. But I made a post about this. I feel like there's fluidity on the board, and it's not that Duckworth is like the pivot, but I don't think this staff is fully sold on any one target that they want to go all in on right now. I think they are still in evaluation mode. That is like no longer I'm with you on you don't predict a quarterback. Right now, I don't feel comfortable saying Burgess lands in this class. I don't know who it's going to be. I think they're going to get a quarterback, but who it's going to be, I have no clue. And I don't know that they do either.
Landon Duckworth, by the way, folks, he is a 4-star in-state quarterback, a top 10 overall recruit in the state. A lot of people he buzzing towards Ole Miss the past few months, I believe, right? Was an Ole Miss?
Yes, Ole Miss. It's got the prediction from Steve Wiltfong, I believe.
South Carolina's had buzz at one time.
Yeah.
He's had a few.
He was committed to South Carolina.
Yes,
he was. That's right.
Committed to South Carolina, decommitted, got buzzed to UCF when Gus was there. Heavy buzz to UCF when Gus was there. Obviously, Gus steps down, takes the offensive coordinator job at Florida State. At that point, Duckworth becomes a lot more open. I think he starts to trend to Ole Miss probably around March-ish is when the buzz really picked up. For that, South Carolina's still battling in that situation. Georgia is going to get an OV from Duckworth, and he's kind of a backup plan for them should things not go to plan with Jerry Curtis. I know he's got a decision forthcoming between Oregon and Georgia here relatively soon. So a lot of QB dominoes that are up in the air. Jaden O'Neal's mixed around in there somewhere with a lot of different teams that we just talked about. Auburn, Georgia, and Florida State are all on his list. And he could potentially even stay with Oklahoma, which is as crazy as that sounds. I mean, he sounded all but open a couple of weeks ago. So a lot to go there. But again, it just reinforced the thought for me, Cole, that if you're gun to head, okay, Burgess is probably still the most likely.
Yeah.
But it still feels very fluid to me. Like there has not been any kind of a decision made of this is the direction we want to go.
Well, it definitely is. You remember when we talked about the RPMs and we talked about Wilt Fong's RPM, which I agree with, but I ain't going to follow him. Just not going to do it.
The thing about Duckworth is I was trying to find when he last came to campus. And I know he came because I took a picture of him. It's on his profile.
Right.
But I couldn't find a story. Like, did he come to January, Cole? Do you remember? We didn't have a story on him if he did. We didn't have the visit mark.
He had basketball. He missed the junior day, if I remember correctly.
I think it's last year, the last time we saw him. I couldn't find it. I couldn't find the last thing I saw him was from last fall.
I want to say he was maybe at a camp in the summer hanging around and maybe went through it too, but surely he's been there since then.
I could not. I tried to go back and find it, and I could not. I could not find the last. It was almost a year ago. It was at least 8 or 9. If he was here for a game in the fall, I wouldn't have doubted it because Xavier Crowell is his teammate there at Jackson High School. They got a couple of dudes there. Yeah, cornerback, don't they? Alan.
Yeah, wide receiver. So you've got Xavier Crowell, a wide receiver there. That's a 4-star blue chip player. I'll Google that name real quick. And then obviously Duck. I think
isn't his name like Burnty or something? Didn't we? I thought he was a DB.
Dylan Purter.
That's who I'm thinking of. He's
from Booker T.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's Marquez Daniel teammate. That's right.
Yes.
Jackson has a lot of players, man. They got Crowell, Landon Duckworth.
Is that where Blake Schrader's dad used to coach?
I don't know who that is.
You don't remember Blake Schrader?
I do. He was former DB coach at UAB and also a
Ali Sharif.
Yeah.
Wasn't he the coach at Ali Sharif?
He was a walk-on. It's Kean Chapman is the wide receiver.
From Jackson.
Okay. Yeah. There you go. He came
for A-Day. He was there for A-Day.
Yeah, he's a blue chip kid. But probably not tier 1-ish. Not yet, anyway.
No, I'd definitely put guys like Tristan Keys and Marquez Daniel and Jace Matthews ahead of him.
Go ahead, Jeff. You jump in here, and then I got one thought.
Well, no, I was moving on, so finish up your Duckworth.
You guys know this better than me, but walk with me for a second. If I were to compare Duckworth's recruitment to one Jared Smith, do you think it has an opportunity to kind of turn the way his did, where Auburn seemed very out on Jared Smith until they saw him in spring and then had an opportunity to personally work him out, and things shifted almost on a dime, and we went from in April feeling like he was probably trending pretty heavily to South Carolina to come July, he's committing to Auburn.
Well, I mean, it could be like the Deuce Knight, because I remember Deuce Knight visited in like the last day before the dead period in February, and then we didn't see him again until like the season. Was that correct? I'm pretty sure it went that long without seeing Deuce Knight on campus.
Yeah, you're right. And then he was there every week.
It was Big Cat, actually.
Sure. Well,
it was Big Cat, remember?
Secretly.
Yeah. That's
Through
when
the
he came
back.
back. That was the first time he came back, I believe.
Yes.
So there was the whole hiatus there where he didn't. And same thing with Jared Smith. We weren't seeing him around much until the summer. That's when we started seeing him a lot, and that's when his name became, hey, Auburn really wants this guy. So those are good comparisons to this one. I think it's different, though. I think it'll end differently. I don't know why. I just have a feeling it's not going to end with Auburn.
No, and I think look, the buzz has been Ole Miss for the better part of a month, and maybe even longer than that. That said, I am very interested because he has the first OV. I think he's not next weekend, but the next. I mean, it's pretty
16th.
soon, the 16th. So
2 weeks from Friday.
2 weeks from Friday. What the buzz is coming out of that OV is going to be very interesting to me and very telling about the direction the staff is going to go.
Mm-hmm. Completely agree. Let's see real quick. Ryan S. in the chat. Before we talk to Ryan S., I wanted to give a big how about you to Tucker.
Hey, yeah.
Big dog Tucker in the chat. I got a quote for you, Tucker. Hope is a good thing, maybe the best of things, and no good thing ever dies.
Is that from Shawshank?
Get that shake out, big dog.
Love it.
How about you, Tucker, and all you fellas in there, man? That's awesome. We appreciate y'all tuning in. That's big time. That means a lot to us.
For sure. For sure.
But let's see. I think who did I say? Cole Ryan S. wanted to know about Zion Ely's tweet, and I thought that was pretty interesting. Apparently, a lot of folks did. Talk with let me pull it up right here for you, folks.
Is it still up? The tweet.
It is. It is. So Zion Ely is the number 1 overall recruit in the country, according to On3, I believe, and has been committed to Maryland. He's an in-state guy, Baltimore. So he's been committed to in-state Maryland for a while now. A couple of months ago, he shut his recruitment down, but behind the scenes, Auburn never relented. They always expected him to visit. And I think his OV is scheduled for June 13th. And then yesterday, he tweeted an eagle. Well, you see it there.
Yeah.
People were
and a question mark.
Curious, and if y'all aren't familiar, Auburn has signed, I think, 4 guys from St. Francis Academy under DJ Durkin in the past year. Well, you've got Bryce Deese, Blake Woodby, Darion Smith, Darrell Robinson. You've got Wayne Henry committed, so that's 5. You've got Jira Edwards, Zion Ely up there again. I mean, as well as Wayne Henry. So you've got 2 more guys up there who are big dogs.
You also have a couple guys from the University of Maryland, Preston Howard and Caleb Wheatland, which is kind of interesting too. I mean, it's the strangest pipeline, but hey, the guys coming out of there, they can play, man.
Yes, they can.
I get it.
All right, let's Kevin's been on hold for about 6.5 days now. Is he Kevin from Wilmer or Kevin from Fairview?
Ooh.
Well,
it's kind of like Jay Head. He'll always be Kevin from Wilmer for me.
There you go, baby.
Kevin, you're live, man.
Kevin from Wilmer, Alabama.
Okay, it ends the debate.
That's
How about you, Kevin?
Currently, so that's where he's from.
How you doing, Jeffrey Lee?
I'm doing much better now, big dog. I haven't heard from you. I wanted to get your take on some things. I needed an update on Cam Coleman's touchdown numbers.
He will have 38 touchdowns now.
Ooh, Kevin's got Auburn going to the playoffs, folks.
Heck yeah.
Did they score 38 touchdowns all that season?
Yeah.
It's a new season, Alan Head.
It is. It is that.
New quarterback room.
Yes, very new quarterback room.
It is that.
An upgraded offensive line.
Definitely an upgraded offensive line.
What's the status of Troy State quarterback?
Committed to Texas, Kevin.
What do you say?
Troy State.
I like how you still call it Troy State, man. That's awesome.
Hey, I've still one of my favorite shirts is still a Troy State Larry Blakeney football camp T-shirt.
Oh yeah. You know what? I think I have one of those.
With the old school Trojan on it, not like the Troy brand writing.
I believe I cut the sleeves out of it.
I definitely did that. It's my grass cutting shirt, Cole.
KJ Lacey should transfer to Auburn now.
Kevin's been a fan of KJ. I'm with him. I like KJ Lacey because he's saying they picked up Caldwell. Lacey should come back to the state. Maybe one day, we'll see.
How about the Auburn baseball team Allen had?
That was big. That was really big for this team to get a top 10 win on the road. Now you come back against a I don't want to say inferior because I don't want to be derogatory towards South Carolina, but they've had a really tough year. I think they've only got 5 conference wins at this point, maybe 6. So an opportunity for Auburn to get a sweep against an SEC opponent, if not just win the series. And then you're at 14 conference wins at that point. No, you'd be at 15 conference wins, which would be, in my opinion, against the schedule they've played, enough to host a regional. If you get a couple more against Ole Miss at Swayze Field, maybe you're looking at potentially being able to host a super regional, contingent on how everybody else finishes. So really impressive season from Butch. A big rebound season for them. Obviously, they didn't even make the tournament last year.
How about the softball team?
Better than I would have imagined.
Me too.
Better than I would have imagined because the way Mickey left that program, there wasn't a lot of talent. And I feel like, or at least in my opinion, now, I think the incoming coach saw it very differently, and I will butcher their last name, so I'm not even going to try. I think it's Marvel.
That's exactly what it is.
Yeah, I bet it is, right? But they've done a really good job, and you can see with the way they've taken it to NC State, who's a quality ACC team. The SEC is just a gauntlet, man.
Mm-hmm.
And for them to get the 7 victories that they've got in conference, I think speaks volumes about their coaching, and it's only going to get better as they continue to recruit and accrue more talent. But I'll be honest with you, of the female sports, softball is probably my favorite. It's the most fun to watch to me, and I'm really excited to see if they can turn that program around.
Hey, Jeffrey Lee.
Hey, Kevin.
How about London Duckworth?
Yep, Kevin. Is that down your neck of the woods?
Pretty close.
Yeah.
Close.
Yeah, Jackson High School.
Yep.
I think, as Alan said earlier, I'm going to be. He's the one I want to hear from the most. I want to see him leave on May the 18th, and I want to see his body language, and I want to see what he says and how he says it, and also talk to some guys behind the scenes and see how it was perceived. The visit, Kevin. He's visiting in 2 weeks. 2 weeks from Friday, May 16th. So I think that's going to be absolutely huge. And I think, when is Travis coming in? I think it's
the next weekend, isn't it?
I think it might be May 30th.
Okay.
Because Auburn's skipping that next weekend. They've got May 16th and May 30th. Yes, and it's May 30th. And he goes to UNC the next week. So Auburn's, assuming these two are still the most likely of the two.
Yes.
Pair. These are the pair that we think Auburn's most likely to pick from, whatever.
I hope they get them.
Yeah, one of the two, I think. And do we all agree that if you were to build a mock class right now, your quarterback would be one of the two?
It would be, though. I'm not.
Mine would be Burgess.
Yeah, I would still lean Burgess at this point. But again, that OV looms large for me. And I'm not going to be shocked if they schedule an OV with Jaden O'Neal. I think that situation is yet to resolve itself. And he's absolutely on the list for Auburn to bring him in.
You're right. I'm with Cole here. And until I talk to Landon, to Duck,
yeah,
to me, Burgess is the team to beat here. But
I have a reason, too. I feel like we'll get into it more on the recruiting show.
Where's Travis Burgess from?
He's from Grayson.
Loganville, Georgia.
A lot of connections there with Kenyatta Watson.
State champion.
Beat Thompson last year in his first game as a starter at Grayson, if I'm not mistaken. Went on the road and beat Thompson.
Yeah, was that Thompson? Yeah.
Didn't they win the 7A championship in Alabama?
Yes, they did.
Yeah.
So they beat the best school in Alabama. He beat them.
I can wait for Quan Fagans play at Auburn.
Me too, buddy. Me too.
Fagans, new boy.
I'll see you later. I'll see you at Tiger Walk.
Sounds good, Kevin. Appreciate you calling in, big dog.
Okay, War Eagle. Bye.
War Eagle, buddy. Kevin's also lighting up the chat.
He is.
Always.
I didn't know that, man. Cole, I've been keeping up with the chat tonight, man.
I keep up with the chat. I maybe shouldn't. Maybe I shouldn't, but I do.
It throws me off when we're because there's a delay.
Yeah,
Does it
sometimes
delay for you?
people come in like to the beginning while we're in the middle of it, and they'll comment on something like 20 minutes ago.
No, I'm talking about the feed. It's like you're talking right now on my YouTube feed. I come over here to StreamYard. It's live.
See,
Oh,
I
yeah.
don't even watch what's actually on the screen. I'm just reading the live comments. That's all I'm doing.
Oh,
By the way, we've already incited a war on the board with the grass cutting.
Oh, have we?
August West has jumped in there. Snake Earl was like, man, depending on the size of your yard, if you're using a push mower, you don't need the weed eat.
I bet
Not-
August
not-
West
not-
is a master
not
of
true.
grass.
August West says, what in the world? Yards? Oh, okay, yeah, you're right. I bet he is.
Touche, sir. Touche.
Master of grass. August
we
West.
got a Make an East shout out down there from Bradford. Thanks.
How
man.
about that?
What did we have that was making East last week?
Yeah, that's where the property for Jessica was in
Oh
Matthews.
yeah, that's right. That's right.
Yeah.
She still
Making
got
East-
it, man.
Making East alum right here. We don't
There you
get talked
go.
about a lot, but hey,
Were y'all 1A, Cole?
we were 3A when I was there, but we were
Oh.
AISA.
Okay. I remember covering. I don't remember what it was, but Making East was always really good. I don't know if it was back during my Randolph Leader days in Wadley but I was a voter. I was an ASWA voter. So me and Ron Ingerman were boys back then, Cole.
Ah, yes.
Then I went rogue to the internet, and it was like,
Oh, yeah,
shunned.
he got nothing to do with us.
I got shunned.
I'm sure he's
blackballed.
a nice guy, but he ain't got nothing to do with us.
He's
nothing.
OG newspaper guy, despises the internet.
Oh yeah, despises
it.
Yeah.
All right, Zach, keep us going, big dog. Appreciate you calling in, Kevin, as always, buddy.
I believe we got Anthony here. Anthony, you're live, man.
Fellas.
What is up, Anthony? There he is for sure.
I knew we'd hear from Anthony tonight.
How y'all doing tonight?
We're doing fantastic, Anthony.
Got two questions for you tonight. One, for the second one, probably could be the personal question of the week for next week, and it's for y'all guys. But I got a feeling it'll probably be the question for next week.
Okay.
First question is, I don't know if it was discussed or maybe I missed it. Just the thoughts on the game being moved to Friday night before. I don't know, have you guys discussed it yet?
For the Baylor game.
Second question, I want all y'all opinion on this. Zach, I want your opinion on this too. What type football watcher are y'all? For example, are you the guy that cuss at the TV? Are you the guy that sit down there and break down plays? Are you the guy just look at
I love it.
Man.
Okay.
I love it.
Yeah. Allen, I feel like Allen, he give me JJ Reddick vibes where guys, WTF or what are we doing right now?
Anthony, you got to answer the question too. Do you weed eat first, or do you cut first on your grass?
I cut then weed eat because the reason I do that because I blow last, so I feel like I just cut grass, weed eat, and I just blow everything.
Okay,
me too. Same here. Anthony, what type of football watcher are you?
I'm all of them. I'm cussing at the TV. I'm calling out the coverages and what should be where we need to go. I'm all of it, balled up in one.
It's what Auburn does to you, man. You become schizophrenic when you watch a game. That's for sure. Multiple personalities.
You better not have any heart problems. I'll tell you that.
I'm mostly the guy though that's probably diagnosed in the play. Like I'm a football geek, so when they score down, more than jumping up and down, I'm trying to figure out what happened and what caused it. So that's me.
Anthony, have you ever gone back and watched the play during a live game, even though you knew you might miss something by doing so?
Yeah, I'm that guy that watched the game the next day again to see what I missed. If I watch it live, and I'm gonna watch it again Sunday to see what I missed and why what happened.
Exactly.
For me, I love watching the game the second time and knowing what's coming and what to look at, and I love watching it the day after.
You learn more.
Especially, I've noticed, Jeffrey, from having to go to all these games, boy, you miss a lot. that you
in
don't
person
see
is
on the
terrible.
broadcast. You do. I mean, I say
I
that.
hate watching the game in
see-
person.
So being up in the press box, I get to see a lot more. I put it that way.
Yeah.
I
But
agree.
I'm
When
missing.
I went to the Texas A&M game, I came back and watched it on television, totally different. And then, when I saw you guys for the Arkansas game, I was in the recruit lounge and they sit under the jumbotron.
Mm-hmm.
And it's so crazy. You remember when Champ Anthony got hurt, and you remember they didn't re-show it on the jumbotron. I couldn't see it, so we
Right.
all was in the recruit session looking up at the screen, waiting on them to show it again, and they wouldn't show it. So we
Yeah.
never saw what happened.
Close plays that are being reviewed, they don't show. Like I'll watch it. I'll go in the recruiting lounge and watch it on TV. And most of the time they have the live broadcast of it, not the TV broadcast, but the video board of it. And you miss so many things because Auburn's only going to show you what they want you to see.
Correct.
You're not getting an objective view of the game.
Me and Justin, we have a very strategic way that we do this, and we've gotten the SID people to help us with this. On one TV, we have whatever they're showing on the board is what we get on that TV on the video board, so we can see the replay and stuff like that. And then on the TV in front of us, we have the actual broadcast on, which is delayed. So I can sit there after I've seen it play live and look up and watch the play again.
That's exactly right.
Perfect.
Kirk Sampson coming to the rescue there for you guys.
We did the same thing in downstairs in the media room. That's the way it ought to be. And
yes.
But as far as the Baylor game, Anthony, being moved to a Friday night, does anybody have a strong opinion on that either way?
Yeah, it bothers me a lot because now I don't get to go to a high school game on the opening weekend. That's a big deal.
It compromises Cole's work schedule. I get it.
That's my favorite game. The high school football game on Friday night is my favorite. It beats all college games. It fires me up. I love high school football and won't be there. I will be covering Auburn, which is fine.
For me, it doesn't change anything. I know that certain Auburn fans are kind of tweaked about it because of like the travel to get out there. And then there's some other things where they think, okay, well, we're not big enough to be on a Saturday or something like that. For me, that's a primetime slot.
It is.
It's a Big 12 game. Big 12 is synonymous for doing this on Fridays. ESPN will be all over this, and it's not going to compromise Auburn's practice schedule at all because it's the first game of the season. So you're not on a truncated timetable by any means. You just speed up when you end fall camp and when you start Baylor prep. So it's not a big deal to me. I think it'll still be it's a massive game for Auburn. It's a massive game for this staff and one you cannot afford to lose. If you have ambition of winning 8+, Baylor's one you got to get because I think the schedule only gets tougher from that point moving forward.
Yeah, you ain't lying.
To answer Anthony's question about what kind of football watcher I am, Anthony, you had it pegged. I am definitely the what are we doing?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Especially Auburn these last couple of years.
If I'm watching at home, the fans, I'm WTF.
Yes. Now, let me ask you guys a question. What is your wife like when you're watching the game? Okay. Because
that's a great question.
Yeah, my wife is from Michigan and she could care less about football. Okay. Like literally she could care less of it. Now put the Red Wings on, different story. Football, not so much. Watching football with my mom and my sisters, like diehard Southern women, dude, it is an experience and a half. I can usually hear things in a high-pitched voice. Do something, Auburn. Come on. And then a foot stomp will come. You know what I mean? Like it's legitimately into
I've heard that. How about, do y'all have a family member that is the other way, like a close one, like a spouse? My mom's an Alabama fan. This is why I ask y'all.
Oh, house divided.
Mm-hmm. My wife is very analytical about the game. She's a sports person.
Okay.
Softball, volleyball, basketball. So she understands the game pretty well, but she doesn't want to get into that too much.
Mm-hmm.
So she kind of has this, I don't really care about it, but when something big happens, she goes, "Now, why'd they do that?" That kind of thing. No, why? No, why would they do that? That's usually what I get from her.
I hear you. And I get those questions too, but I'm talking about like being into it. And it's such a contrast for me to watch a game with my wife who could care less. And then I go home and I witness that. And it's just completely different. And it's interesting the different geography that I've traveled and how people watch games and how they absorb content.
Yeah. That's a good question, man. I used to be totally different. I was I say that. I've always been sort of an analyst. I want to know why things happen, like Anthony was saying. It's different now. I mean, now, got so much going on during the games, trying to get the thread up, trying to see every little detail and get that out. But that's kind of how I've always watched the games, if we're being honest. Me and Dad, Dad, he's taught me about the game. We sit there and talk through the game and discuss the play calling, and defensive alignment was weird there. We'll go back and watch it during a commercial to play again.
I can see OG Pink like in his big boy recliner, like pointing. See, look, they're match pattern.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep. He knows.
Jeffrey, what's Jessica like?
She thinks I'm an idiot. I'll look over sometimes and she'll be like this. She's filming me and shit.
Great.
Blackmail.
And here's why. Here's why. Like, I think I want Auburn to win even more now as this is my job than I did when I was I don't know. I was a pretty freaking crazy fan.
It's totally different, isn't it?
It is. I want them to win for different reasons than I did 25 years ago.
Yeah.
25 years ago, I was an idiot. Like, I was freaking.
Sure. You all spun up about it. And now it's more, what do you have to deal with after a loss by comparison? Right. What do you deal with?
Absolutely. How the next week of my life depends on what happens in the next 3 hours. And if it's something stupid, like throwing a freaking pass against Oklahoma.
Yes.
Are you kidding me?
We're still talking about that.
That's what pisses me off. You know what I had to go through for the next week? Because your dumb ass called a freaking pass play?
Right. The angst and anxiety on the board, the recruiting stories that you generate. You know what I mean?
I don't know. Yeah. So, for me, it's frustration from quality of life.
Sure.
I take it totally differently now, man. I mean, I have no problem admitting I was a diehard fan before all this, of course. I mean, I've followed Auburn my entire life. And I don't remember ever getting the way that a lot of people on the corner do.
Well,
I don't ever remember being that way. I've always been analytical about it. Like, why did that happen? I got to know. I mean, the whole way I got into this was from the 2019 Florida game. I sat there, watched that game, got on a message board after the game, and just couldn't believe what people were saying. And I'm so thankful for it. I'm so grateful for it. That I was the first time I ever put a play script up public. I'm like, here, argue with yourself. That's what they ran. Tell me what you think. So it's but now I'm like,
oh, hell, Cole. 2019 Florida, how many times did they run inside zone? Because it felt like that was the whole game plan.
I know. Didn't take me that long to do the play script. Hey,
I was going to say on that one.
There it is again.
I will say this. Now that I watch more as a professional, it sounds so stupid, but I guess that's what I am. I get more enjoyment. Listen to this, Bama fans. I know y'all are watching. I get more enjoyment from a Bama loss than an Auburn win. I love it. I love it.
Well, I mean, at the end of the day, that's always good for Auburn. It's never bad.
No.
Well, this takes off that I don't have to hear from them, right? Because if Auburn loses and Alabama wins, I have to hear from both fan bases.
Well,
bitching,
we hear more from them when they're losing. Like the Perry Thompson thing, I was getting all kinds of messages and things like that. When they were on top and sitting pretty, I didn't hear much.
Nope. But I will say this, man, social media has changed that so much, right?
Yeah.
Because prior to social media, you would get some after the game. You know what I mean? Like you would have the crossover message board fan, what have you, but it's a whole other level of them, like it just randomly shooting things your way on Twitter. You know what I mean? Like, really, dude? Warming up a I almost dropped the F-bomb.
It's tough, ain't it?
It is, dude. Twitter thread from like 3 weeks ago. Row Tide Row. You remember when you said that?
Yeah.
Are you serious, man? This is the kind of time you have on your hands to go back and check this?
Oh,
I will say this.
we got them on our board.
The most classic, legendary quote to me was a one-word quote from a uppity Auburn chick, lady. I was probably 20, 21.
Snobby Jogger?
Yeah. Oh my gosh! I remember her.
Snobby Jogger. Yeah. I figured that's who it was.
Who was that? It was somebody who would jog, and I was waving at him. They're like,
Yep.
remember that? Who was
Yes.
that? A girl from Rivals with the bunker?
I'm almost positive. Yes. Yes.
Okay, well, this was about, I don't know, dude. I was probably barely legal, but I was 3 or 4 sheets to the wind.
There you
And
go.
Auburn had just won a huge game. I can't remember who it was. Maybe Florida back in the 90s. I don't remember what it was, but I was running out of Jordan-Hare. I was screaming, whoa, through the parking lot. And then I just went, and this woman's standing there going, lovely.
Oh, that's funny.
Oh, lovely.
Yep.
I pointed it their way. No.
Yeah. You were just like, hold my beer. Okay, I'll be back.
Oh, lovely.
Hey, you were classing up the joint, Jeffrey Lee. You know what I mean?
I was a highbrow drunk, man.
Yes, you were bringing straight class.
Oh my goodness, good times.
I love it.
All right, let's. We don't have to stretch this out, man. Because the weeks coming up, it's going to be more and more. It's going to be getting tuned up. This next week, what's coming up this next week, and because it's mainly we're looking at the basketball visitor is somebody we need to be keeping an eye on,
For sure.
which was Louisville transfer James Scott.
Yes, big time transfer from Louisville. I think he's still considering Ole Miss and NC State are the other two teams. Justin had a fantastic report, and I encourage all those that are basketball enthusiasts to follow his work in his portal. He's done a great job there.
James Scott, we're going to be Carlos Moore. We mentioned him earlier, the offensive tackle from Elon. We're going to be keeping a track on him. Those are kind of the two guys right now in limbo. The recruitments we're following. Coaches are going to be on the road, high school recruiting. We're going to see if anything materializes there, any more visits or offers come of that. And then May 16th, get that circled on your calendar. It's going to be a huge, huge recruiting weekend for Auburn. I think we've got 14 or 15 confirmed right now.
Yep.
Probably come down to a more manageable number before it gets here. But as of now, there's 14 and I think 16 for May the 30th. So a lot is about to pick up. And then that's going to take us right into commitment season, 2-a-days, which they don't do anymore, but what's it called? Summer camp.
Yeah.
Fall camp.
Fall camp. And they do have 2-a-days, but like one of them is a walkthrough. It's not like legitimate, like 2 padded practices or
Right.
Pat Dye's 80s tough where you were doing 3-a-days out there.
No water.
Seeing who they can make puke.
Yeah.
The way we did it at Huntington, we'd have a morning practice for the whole team on Monday, and then an afternoon practice for just special teams players. And then we swap it on the next day. It was swapped. So special teams was in the morning, then full practice was afternoon. It sucked.
I can only imagine for special teams guys like this is.
Yeah, all the linemen are going, all right, y'all have a good time, boys.
Yeah, pretty much, dude.
We want to pass Qualies.
We'll be in the dining hall.
Oh, all right. Let's start looking ahead. The baseball team will continue. Softball team will continue, right?
Yes, softball team will continue. I think they're set to be picked up as a 2 or a 3 seed for a regional here relatively soon. They haven't done the selection show yet, but they've wrapped the regular season, I think, with this series against NC State.
Okay. So things are going to be picking up, man. This is it's a great time to follow along because we're going to be tracking all this at Auburn Live on 3 if you don't have a membership there. Want to give us a shot, man. Go check us out. Use the promo code FRIEND, FRIEND, 50% off an annual subscription. Don't forget, if you're in Auburn, Alabama, Lee County, Opelika, look for no help for some real estate help, man. Jessica Andrus with the Talents Group. She's freaking fantastic, folks. Give her a call, 334-704-4442. Tell her we sent you, man. All right, folks, that's going to do it tonight, man. We appreciate everybody listening. We appreciate everybody watching. We're going to see y'all back Wednesday or Thursday for a recruiting show, and then we'll be back next Sunday night. So thanks again for everybody for listening. Thanks for watching. We appreciate everybody. For Cole, for Alan Head, for Zach in the back, who stayed in the back? I'm Jeffrey Lee, man. Y'all stay that left lane. See ya.